Howdy there. A few nights ago, I got to see the new documentary, Jiro, Dreams of Sushi. And I really enjoyed it. I'm going to give it an 8. Had a fun time. It's basically the portrait of a man while being a love letter to food and sushi. Again, it's a documentary. It follows the life of, I guess, one of the world's most renowned chefs and the most renowned sushi chef in Japan. They were called Shoyukunin, something like that. Means master sushi chef. Wow, that's a tongue twister. So we get to see a glimpse into his life, his history, his philosophies, while being treated to a visual presentation of his greatest creations. It was directed and shot and produced by David Gelb. I'm not familiar with that name. The film is in Japanese with English subtitles. I thought the subtitles were very well done. I really haven't seen subtitles like it before, except in Night Watch, the Russian vampire film. The subtitles reminded me, those were like the coolest subtitles ever. And so these subtitles were very much like it. The film is gorgeously photographed. I mean, the sushi, the food is presented, it's it's almost like porn. It's very graphic. Very detailed, just gorgeously photographed pieces of fish. We also get to see like the inner workings. This was basically my favorite part. The inner workings of the business. We get to meet, like they go to the fish market. So we get to meet like the tuna dealer and the shrimp dealer. And the rice dealer, who is like Jiro's best friend. So we get to see all of these people who are the best at what they do and, know more than anyone else in their chosen field. And that's what the film is about to me, is dedication and passion and knowledge of your craft. He talks about how you have to do the same thing every day. Find the pattern, and do it every day and do it as best you can. That spoke to me. I get that. We meet his... that's what I, enjoyed. The portrait of the man part I really enjoyed more than the sushi part, because, this is... Knowing the man would, help you understand his art. And as the portrait, I thought it was fairly good. I thought there were some questions left. We get to meet his two sons. The oldest son is following, directly in his footsteps to take over his restaurant, as is expected of him. His younger son, his second son, is starting his own restaurant. He wants to strike out on his own. He was pretty much kind of, pushed out of the nest to go start on his own. Because the first son, the restaurant is already his. And just to have two sons, competing would be highly stressful. So the second son was sent out on his own. We get to meet both the sons. Really, the first son, I thought, maybe talked to more than anyone else. But you get to meet the sons, and there you get to see a portrait of the man like at the home. The one thing that I felt was left out is we don't get to see how Jiro treated his women. You know, he had a very bad, a very poor, unfortunate upbringing. Didn't have a lot of love from his parents. He said 2 different ages. At one point he said that he was on his own at the age of 7, and then at another point he said that he was on his own, kicked out of the house at the age of 9. Whichever it is, it's too young. You know, I can't imagine a 9-year-old being, you know, on the streets. It was soon after that he started, you know, making sushi. And now he's 85, and still, you know, I mean, he's the world's most renowned sushi chef. So he's been doing it pretty much literally all of his life. We get to hear about his training, everything that goes into apprenticeship. We meet the current apprentices, apprenti, to he and his son. Did I finish my thought? I can't remember. We don't hear much about the women in his life. I think to get a accurate portrait of a man, I think you need to know how he treats his women. We never really get any look into his relationship with his mother, except that, you know, he kind of felt that he had no mother. And from the best I can tell, especially after discussion with a friend, that he most likely at least had 2 wives, which I guess says something. But we're left wondering what, again, how he treats his women. It's basically the only aspect left out of his life. So it kind of seems like a glaring omission. I mean, just to mention it just a little bit. Some personal things I really enjoyed. I've been a big fan of Iron Chef for a long time. I like to, and I'm talking about the original Iron Chef, not Iron Chef America. I'd like to think that I was watching Iron Chef when people made fun of you for watching Iron Chef. You know, before it was cool. You know, I was watching Iron Chef 1995, easy. Whenever I would get to go to my grandma's house, and my grandma had cable, and I did not, I would get to watch Iron Chef, and, you know, it was magical to me. I'd never seen anything like it, you know, and I love Iron Chef. And you get to see a couple people from Iron Chef. There were a few faces I recognized. I was trying my hardest to remember an episode with Jiro in it. It seems like such the Grand Master of Sushi would be on Iron Chef at least once. But I recognized a few, or at least a couple faces from Iron Chef, and that made me happy. One I remember right off the bat is Michelle Robuchon, who Jiro calls, you know, like the greatest palate in history. Jiro wants to be Michel Robuchon, the French Grand Master. I remember him from Iron Chef. He never battled, but like he was a judge occasionally and a guest speaker. There were a couple other faces that I knew I'd seen on Iron Chef. So that made me very happy. It kind of felt like seeing an old friend in a way. Or at least just this instant transportation to 1995. I was hoping, you know, I love sushi, I love food, if you can't tell, you know. And as they say in the film, sushi is the coolest food. I do love sushi, but every time I have sushi, I feel very guilty. because of the state of our world's oceans and the fact that they are filling with garbage and basically killing off the fish populations, not to mention overfishing, not to mention mercury poisoning, which accompanies most tuna, since tuna is an apex predator. They have the highest concentration of mercury of fish that we eat commonly. So they never really talk about the mercury poisoning, which is fine. We do get to see some just glorious tuna in this, but they do, talk about overfishing, the pollution, the fact that, even when he started his career, fish existed that no longer exist. So I thought for a while that they were going to gloss over that, but they finally got into it. I'm running out of battery power here, so I have to finish my thoughts. I just really enjoyed it. I think it's a solid 8. It reminded me of 2 better films, basically because it's about, one man and his philosophy and his uncompromising artistic vision. One reminded me of a few years ago, Man on Wire, the great film about the French tightrope walker. A tremendous film. If you see this film and like it, rent Man on Wire. It's amazing. And as well as one of the best films of last year, Senna, the documentary about Anton Senna, the race car driver, Formula F1 race car driver. Amazing film. Again, roughly the same type of documentary. But I really enjoyed it. I thought Jiro was a fascinating character, funny, sweet, passionate. I really enjoyed the film. I don't really know what else to say about it. Gorgeously photographed, a glimpse into a culture that you don't get to experience every day. A glimpse at the height of a cuisine. So I think that's pretty cool. If I get to eat there or get to eat any place like it, or basically if I ever get to go to Japan, my life will be very different. So I hope maybe one day to get over there and to experience anything like this. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really don't know what else to say. Gorgeously photographed, touching, funny, fascinating. A good watch. So that's Jiro, Dreams of Sushi, and it's a solid 8. Thank you very much.